The number of deaths and positive COVID-19 cases here in Arkansas continues to climb. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennifer Piñate.
And I'm Chad Mira. 564 people in Arkansas have tested positive for COVID-19. 8 have died from the virus. The latest death is out of Central Arkansas. That's one more than we reported yesterday. Over 7,400 people have now been tested for COVID-19 in the state. Almost 7,000 of those tests have come back negative. And if we break it down by county, here's what it looks like. 38 positive cases in Benton County, 22 in Washington. Crawford's still reporting somewhere between 1 and 4 positive cases, and there are now 8 out of Sebastian County. At least 64 of the people who tested positive for COVID-19 are in the hospital. 23 are on ventilators. 41 people have recovered.
Nearly 80 COVID-19 cases in the state also involve healthcare workers. The news comes as healthcare facilities around the country are struggling to get the needed personal protective equipment, or PPE, to keep employees from getting sick. When asked if that's the reason healthcare workers are catching the virus, Arkansas Secretary of Health Dr. Nate Smith said that might only be part of the problem.
When a patient comes in and they don't initially suspect COVID-19, and then there are many people who were exposed before people think to put on the personal protective equipment.
Dr. Smith says the state has more PPE from the national stockpile that is going out around the state.
Many of you are coming to us with stories of filing for unemployment and running into problems. Messages, emails, calls, some saying the online application portal goes down, the listed phone number results in hang-ups, or seemingly endless lines pop up at local unemployment offices. Governor Asa Hutchinson addressed these concerns in his daily press briefing today.
We've had tens of thousands that have got through and filled out claims. I know it's frustrating, but they're working on it every day. We're going to improve the system, but it's a challenge.
Governor Hutchinson says the state has added 20 to 30 new staff members to man the phones, and new IT systems were installed to handle the load. The governor adds in-person services will still be offered, but he wants to limit the number of people going into the office.
The strain on Arkansas's healthcare system during this COVID-19 crisis, prompting Governor Asa Hutchinson to ask for expedited nursing licenses. As a result of legislation passed just last year, there is a group ready to step in. As KNWA's Andrew Epperson explains, some people are fighting the pandemic on the front lines while also fighting to stay in this country.
Carla Palma wears 2 hats: DACA recipient and nursing student.
To be able to help others, not, only taking care of them, but also making them feel comfortable and feeling that their needs are tended to.
Much like the rest of the country, Arkansas faces a fatigued health care system as the number of positive COVID-19 cases grows. But after a bill passed last year, so does the number of DACA recipients who can swoop in to help.
And in my mind, I'm just going through, what all am I going to say? How am I going to say? I don't want to mess up. These are important people.
Here's Palma testifying to both chambers last summer, passionately working to get ink to paper.
And just hearing their stories of dedication and resilience, I think really resonated.
It passed.
I don't speak alone when I just say thank you so much for your dedication, your willingness to serve, and take care of all of us. Thank you.
Palma isn't quite old enough to get in the game herself just yet.
I wish I would have been able to, be out there, and there's a lot of respect that I have for all the nurses and doctors, me wanting to pursue a career in that.
But she's encouraging folks in her situation to keep pushing, even though the Supreme Court will reevaluate DACA as soon as this summer. She says COVID-19 is the real threat, not people like her.
If Supreme Court rules negatively against us, then we shouldn't, give up and, drop out of college or, think that it's the end.
Andrew Epperson, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.
An inspiring story, and we thank all the nurses on the front lines. Fayetteville Public Schools making changes to keep feeding kids in the safest way possible during this crisis. In order to cut down on gatherings of more than 10 people, schools will now offer a one-trip meal service. Families can pick up a week's worth of food instead of a daily pickup. This includes 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches for each child. Families can pick up meals every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Owl Creek School. Students are required to be there to get their meals.
Fort Smith Public Schools now serving grab-and-go meals while students are taking classes online. Supervisor of Child Nutrition, Lee Christian, says they will continue to provide meals as long as COVID-19 keeps schools closed.
Obviously, when school, if it does get to come back in session, we'll go back to our regular meals, and then in the summer we'll start this process again. I think the community depends on it and looks forward to it since we've done it so many years.
Kids 18 and under can stop by any Fort Smith elementary school and pick up a free lunch and free breakfast for the next day. That's Monday through Friday. Drop by anytime between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Here at KNWA, we want to bring you the facts and not fear about the coronavirus pandemic. Chelsea Helms from our sister station Fox 24 spoke to a local doctor to answer your questions about the virus.
As more cases of COVID-19 are being reported in the state and Northwest Arkansas, we want to keep you as informed as possible. We're focused on the facts and not spreading fear. Joining us once again, Dr. Gary Berner with the Community Clinic of Northwest Arkansas. Dr. Berner, thank you again for your time today.
Good afternoon. Happy to help.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, predicts there will be another coronavirus outbreak come the fall. Do you think this virus will be similar to the flu, where it spikes during the cooler months and is at bay when it's warmer?
I doubt that we've seen the end of the coronavirus. I think, we're certainly in the midst of this pandemic now. And, as most viruses, they are difficult to get rid of. So I think it's very possible that we will continue to have episodes of the coronavirus flare up. I do not have that knowledge or have seen the research that he has to talk about the fall or another time period, but it will be very, very difficult to completely eliminate COVID-19 or the coronavirus.
Yeah, definitely not the answer I'm sure a lot of people were hoping to hear, but we'll, of course, continue to keep our eye on that. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the coronavirus possibly having been in the U.S. for months before testing was available. A lot of people have told us, hey, we think we had it in December because we had flu-like symptoms but tested negative for the flu. Do you think that's a possibility?
I certainly think it's a possibility. There's a few confusing pieces. One being that coronavirus has been around in the United States and across the world for decades and decades. There are multiple versions of the coronavirus. The current one causing this pandemic is called COVID-19. I'm sure most of us have seen that title, seen that name. However, there's been other versions of coronavirus in the United States and Northwest Arkansas for years and even decades, causing milder flu-like symptoms, more upper respiratory symptoms with cough, sore throat, congestion, fever, runny nose, and those symptoms. So it's going to be really difficult to ever understand whether we had potential COVID-19 cases even back in December and January, or if it truly has begun more recently in the United States, potentially, in February or early March.
Several states around the country are under stay-at-home orders. Arkansas, as you know, not one of them. In fact, Arkansas, we got a D rating in social distancing, according to unicast.com. So what I want to know is if people don't start heeding the warning of state officials, the CDC, different federal officials as well, could we start seeing our positive cases and deaths skyrocket here like we're seeing elsewhere?
Yeah, I saw that. That was disappointing to see, and never like seeing Arkansas, number 48 or getting a D in anything. So, I would just really stress that we begin to follow the direction that we've been given from the Arkansas Department of Health. I think that's really our focus to prevent that from happening. I do think this could really escalate if we don't really heed the advice that we've been giving. It is really important to limit those groups that are getting together. Please keep those groups as small as you can. It is very important to limit that exposure to your neighbors, to your friends, and to your family. Do not do needless travel. Do not go and visit family members that do not need to be seen. My sweet brother and sister-in-law came to the house the other day, dropped off bread, waved to us from outside the glass door, and then headed back home. And it broke our hearts. My young daughter was wanting to see her cousin, and it was heartbreaking even to see them but that's really what we have to do right now. We need to step up. This is an unusual time, but we have to make a difference. We have to do our best to flatten the curve.
Dr. Berner, thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us tonight. We always appreciate your expertise.
Absolutely. We're sure happy to help. Let us know if we can do anything.
Thank you.
If you'd like to check out the entire interview with Dr. Berner, just head to our website, nwahomepage.com. Many small businesses and nonprofits are taking a big hit from COVID-19, and now a new program created to support them. The University of Arkansas Small Business and Technology Development Center is partnering with the Northwest Arkansas Council on the Small Business Emergency Assistant Program. The program will provide free services to organizations so they access benefits provided by the U.S. Small Business Administration. This includes help with loan applications, one-on-one counseling, and business planning.
We put a lot into developing in our downtowns and doing a lot of things over the last decade to make this a great place to live and work, and we want to try to do everything we can to let this be a setback, in a short amount of time, not necessarily a change in trajectory for us.
In order to maintain safe social distancing practices, services will be given remotely through the phone and video conferencing. For more information on how you can participate in that program, head over to our website.
KNWA is your local election headquarters. Benton County voters took to the polls tonight to decide who will be on the general election ballot in November. A couple runoffs tonight in districts 90 and 91. All the votes are in, and Kendon Underwood beating the incumbent representative of District 90, Jana De La Rosa, been in that seat for 3 terms. She actually had the most votes in the preferential primary, but she didn't get the majority, hence the runoff, and Kendon Underwood beating her out for the Republican nomination. He will go on to face now Kelly Kraut, the Democrat, in that race. You'll see that on the general election later this year. Over in District 91, Delia Hawk with 54% of the votes. She will go on to the general election, beating out Scott Richardson, one of the vice chairs of the Republican Party of Benton County. Is coming in with 45% of the votes. So Hawk will go against Democrat Nick Jones for the District 91 seat. We will continue to keep you updated on the upcoming general election on air and online. Stick with us on nwahomepage.com. Some regulations are being waived to allow hospitals more access to patients. How the new rule change could help those suffering from COVID-19. But first, let's get a look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff. Dan, not a bad day this afternoon. No, beautiful afternoon. Lots of sunshine and a clearing sky, allowing those temperatures to drop tonight. Tomorrow, believe it or not, for the first day of April, April Fools, we're not joking around. It's going to be a gorgeous one. But rain and storm chances return. We'll have that coming up in your forecast after the break.
You're watching KNWA News at 10 with Jennifer Pinate, Chad Mira, Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, and your Pig Trail Nation report with Drew Ammon. Closed captioning is sponsored by Air Control.
Wednesday morning on KNWA Today, we bring you the latest on the coronavirus in Arkansas.
Plus, we've got a new installment of my You Ask, We Investigate series.
And April Fools looks like a beautiful afternoon. We'll show you that forecast on Wednesday morning.
KNWA News is brought to you by Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Ultimate Challenge.
Since 1985, H&R Block in Northwest Arkansas is here for you. Locally owned and franchised, we make all of your tax preparation and business services hassle-free. No surprises, guaranteed. H&R Block in Springdale and Lowell. National name, local service.
As coronavirus news continues to break, be prepared with news alerts from the KNWA mobile app, your local source for continuing coverage, breaking news, closings, and more. Download the free KNWA News app now.
Hey Northwest Arkansas, Lara here to tell you about our beautiful Sam's Furniture Superstore. And if you're in need of a new look for your home, this is the place to shop. We have over 170,000 square feet of name brands like Franklin, Flexsteel, Benchcraft, Universal, and more. Plus, because of our large in-stock inventory, you can take advantage of same-day delivery. So if you want the largest selection, lowest prices, and to buy from a local family business who loves and serves its community, get it at Sam's.
At Underwood's, you'll only find bright, brilliant, and beautiful diamonds. That's because every diamond we offer must pass through the Underwood Gem Lab, where it's inspected by 3 certified gemologists. It's checked, rechecked, and checked again. Even with the best diamond cutters in the industry, only 1 out of every 20 diamonds we evaluate passes. And the ones that fail, you can buy those anywhere. But the ones that pass are truly exceptional. Underwood's. It's where you buy the best.
We're all in this together. We know you have concerns about the coronavirus, but at KNWA, we're here to deliver you the facts, not fear. It's the information you need to make informed decisions.
Facts, not fear. That's KNWA's commitment to you. Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dan Scott.
Let's check out the almanac for today. It's the last day of March. April 1st happens tomorrow. Let's see how it's stacked up. I'll step out of the way so you can see everything. For the month, 7.2 inches of rain. We'll take a look at that, how that fares with the, the records in terms of the month of March. 65, the high temperature. Look at the rainfall where we ended up in Fort Smith. Over 2 inches, 5 inches for the year. And when we stack it up and we look at the month of March in review, Drake Field had a mean of 56.1 degrees. The mean for Fort Smith, 58.5. If you're thinking it was pretty warm, oh, it was. 8.1 degrees above normal, and Fort Smith was also above normal. But Drake Field was the 3rd warmest for the month of March out of 71 years. The records go back into the late 1940s, early 1950s. The records go back a lot more for Fort Smith. It was tied for the 9th warmest out of 138 years. It was the 17th wettest for Fort Smith and the 5th wettest for Drake Field. So, yeah, it was warm, it was wet, and it looks like that's going to transition as we move into April as an active weather pattern sets up. Let's talk about the earthquake, though. If you haven't heard, a 6.5, and there are currently still aftershocks that are ongoing. Now, keep in mind, this is in the Rocky Mountains, so the energy doesn't kind of translate as far as the Rocky Mountains kind of absorb that energy a little bit. But 6.5 that happened just a little before 7 o'clock our time, before 6 o'clock their time. It's about 80 miles southwest of Boise. They definitely felt the shaking in Boise, Idaho. So let's check out satellite and radar, and you'll see these rain showers that moved in throughout the night, last night into early this morning. Yeah, we got a lot of rain, but we ended up throughout the afternoon as the clouds cleared out. It turned out to be beautiful. But the same storm system that moved through here, while it brought a lot of rain, it didn't bring any severe weather. But that was a different story to the southeast. Look at all of the storms and the severe weather across the southeastern U.S. So let's take a look at the weather pattern around here. It's quiet tonight. We'll get some high clouds throughout the day tomorrow. We're in the upper 40s to lower 50s. And look at the warmer weather to our southwest, the colder weather to our northeast. That kind of sums it up here. But we've got an active weather pattern, as you'll see, multiple pieces of energy and multiple disturbances that will be moving through this persistent southwest flow that'll bring us rain and thunderstorms. Now, thankfully, get a break from the rain tomorrow. We won't have any rain tomorrow. But we do have rain returning on Thursday evening and into Friday morning, and you can see this on the long-range computer models. Then we get more rain that develops Saturday morning. Kind of get a break Saturday afternoon, but we got more rain and thunderstorm activity popping up Sunday into Monday, and especially Monday into Tuesday. So let's just say there's a lot of rain and there's all these little pieces of energy, and it'll have to be ironed out in terms of the fine-scale details. But overnight tonight, we're going to fall off to about 40 degrees for the morning low. Winds will be picking up throughout the day on Thursday. That's going to lead to the potential for some thunderstorms. And if you're wondering about severe weather, it's still a ways out. But we know that the moisture, the instability is going to increase next week, Monday and Tuesday, especially in the River Valley as we climb into the lower 80s. And remember, you can get the latest forecast on these Cumulus radio stations. We'll be right back after the break.
Caitlin Zollner finds the answers to your questions. Wednesdays on KNWA Today.
Going out has turned into staying in. So why not make the most of it? Turn seeing the sunrise into seeing what's possible. Turn disconnecting into connecting.
Show me comedies.
You're at home, and we're there with you. Cox, bringing us closer.
Your Northwest Arkansas and River Valley Honda dealers want you to be safe. And right now, you need a car you can count on and your dealer to go the extra mile. That's why our dealerships are open and committed to working with you to make servicing, buying, or shopping for a Honda convenient for you, helping you stay safe with a reliable car ready to go when you need it. For questions about sales, service, or more, call your Honda dealer or visit NWArkansasHondaDealers.com today.
After working many years, our client Charles became disabled and unable to work. He filed for Social Security disability benefits right here in Fort Smith, but his claim was denied twice. He called Cadell Rentals for help. We handled the complicated paperwork, appeared at his hearing, and won Charles the benefits he deserved. If you need disability benefits, call Cadell Rentals.
Call Cadell Reynolds at 800-671-4100 for a free consultation. Make the right call.
The bladder control aisle. You won't shop here again. Your private business is your own. The constant struggle is over. Now there's a better way. It's HDIS. We home deliver bladder control products. We understand how you feel. For over 25 years, we've home delivered to many of the 20 million Americans who deal with incontinence. We offer all brands. We pay shipping and use plain, unmarked boxes. If we can help you or someone you care for, call for your free product sample pack and $45 in money-saving coupons. Our counselors will help you choose the right product. And unlike stores, we're always in stock. You'll get what you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. HDIS, the better way.
For your free sample pack with your free catalog, $45 in money-saving coupons, and free product samples, call 1-800-846-1453. That's 1-800-846-1453.
The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, is working from home.
Do you feel like laughing at Daddy's jokes?
And tonight, Jimmy checks in on Demi Lovato and Jonathan Van Ness. The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon, at Home Edition, tonight on NBC.
Now, from Fayetteville, high on the hill, this is your Big Trail Nation Report, sponsored by Crane Automotive Team.
What's up? Two guys on track to possibly win postseason All-America honors. One a catcher for Arkansas, the other a right fielder. Tara Talmadge catching up with these two after the Hogs won 11 times in 16 games this season.
You know, there'll always be a question mark, you know, next to the 2020 season.
Heston Kjerstad and Casey Opitz both speaking out on Monday for the first time since finding out that their time at Arkansas had been cut short.
It's probably something I always think about. How would have the season really ended? Or also the huge question mark is, were we going to make a repeat back to Omaha with all the guys? Like, that's another big question mark, and we'll never know, and it'll just be something we always probably think about and wonder.
I think we were, you know, right there in line to compete with anybody and to play in Omaha again. So that's the toughest part for us, is we know we were able to get there and we could have done something special.
Both Kjerstad and Opitz are draft eligible this year, and although they haven't publicly ruled out returning to Arkansas, they do say they'll always remember their time on the Hill.
It was the greatest experience I could have had as a college baseball player, you know, with the staff and the fans and everything. That was awesome to be able to have support and access to everything we did while we were there. I've enjoyed every moment of it since my freshman year to that last game, but you know, I talk a lot about it. It's probably the best 3 years, and I tell my kids about it. I never expected to be an Arkansas baseball player, but I'll never forget my time there.
Reporting for the Big Trail Nation, I'm Tara Talmadge.
Tara, thanks. The full interviews with Kjerstad and Casey Opitz on hogville.net. That is your Big Trail Nation report.
Bud Anderson Home Services, your one-stop shop for home comfort.
Summer is right around the corner, so it's a great time to replace your old worn-out AC before it's too late. Save big this spring with an entire new AC system installed for only $55.55. Get your home ready for the summer heat. Call Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric today.
Attention, only Brown's Tree Care meets the rule of 3.
Want best equipment? Brown's has the equipment for any job. That means you save on labor from small residential to the largest commercial jobs. 2, experience. Brown's Tree Care is the oldest company in the area, providing excellent work since 1964. 3, fully insured. Don't do business unless you see proof of workman's comp. Brown's fully covers its workers, protecting against accidents on the job. Brown's meets the rule of 3. Don't get stuck with some hack. If you want professional tree care, trim it down with Brown. Call us for a free estimate today.
When we face adversity, we find a way through it. It's about taking care of each other. It's the small parts that make a big difference. At Chevy, we promise to do ours. We're offering Chevy owners complimentary OnStar Crisis Assist services and Wi-Fi data. If you need a new Chevy, interest-free financing for 84 months with deferred payments for 120 days on many of our most popular models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home. It's just our way of doing our part.
Grease and grime build up in no time. Stop struggling and call the police. The Grease Police, the magic degreaser that cleans almost anything. Grease Police works on nearly all stubborn messes, even ones baked on for years. The secret's the super concentrated formula that emulsifies grease, dirt, and grime on contact. Even restaurant equipment is no match for the power of Grease Police. And it's biodegradable, so you can clean your barbecue grill inside and out. But Grease Police cleans so much more. Everything from scummy tile and grout to brake dust on rims. Even dried-on spray paint comes right off. Call or click now to get a large bottle of concentrated Grease Police with money-back guarantee for just $14.99. Order now and you can double it and get a second bottle. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 large bottles of concentrated Grease Police with guarantee. Ordered now.
Call 1-800-652-0938 or visit getgreasepolice.com. So call 1-800-652-0938 now.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks healthy donors to schedule an appointment to give during this coronavirus outbreak. Patients are counting on life-saving transfusions. Visit redcrossblood.org.
Summer is right around the corner, so it's a great time to replace your old worn-out AC before it's too late. Save big this spring with an entire new AC system installed for only $55.55. Get your home ready for the summer heat. Call Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric today.
The Trump administration announcing temporary regulatory waivers that allow hospitals to provide care at other locations to make room for COVID-19 patients.
KNWA's Kelly Meyer reports on the new program.
It's called Hospitals Without Walls.
They could use a college dormitory, they could use a gymnasium.
A new program creating room for critical coronavirus cases while continuing to give uninfected patients the care they need.
It allows hospitals to provide services off-site.
Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Seema Verma says the agency is changing the rules to pay for patients' treatment outside of hospitals and clinics. FEMA is already helping expand hospital space in states across the country. Verma says this initiative adds to the work they have done and allows more involvement on the local level.
What we want to do is empower local communities to start thinking about this and to use the resources that they already have in their community.
The CMS waivers will allow hospitals to transfer uninfected patients to these sites, making room for those testing positive for the coronavirus. As far as filling these new spaces with supplies, Verma says they want to make sure healthcare workers have the tools they need to save lives.
FEMA has set a very special force of people that are working to find supplies. And then we've also seen a great response from the private sector in the United States. I think we're hearing every day about companies that are stepping forward to produce ventilators. We heard that from GE.
Verma says new efforts are being made every day at the agency to take care of Americans during this pandemic. In Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.
You first, always, at First National Bank, with locations in Rogers, Bentonville, Springdale, Johnson, and Fayetteville.
Like the Pig Trail Nation Facebook page today and join the conversation. It's everything Northwest Arkansas. Like the Good Day NWA Facebook page now.
At Underwoods, you'll only find bright, brilliant, and beautiful diamonds. That's because every diamond we offer must pass through the Underwood Gem Lab, where it's inspected by 3 certified gemologists. It's checked, rechecked, and checked again. Even with the best diamond cutters in the industry, only 1 out of every 20 diamonds we evaluate passes. And the ones that fail, you can buy those anywhere. But the ones that pass are truly exceptional. Underwoods, it's where you buy the best.
I'm Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, and you're watching the Rutledge Report. The governor declared a state of emergency. Price gouging laws are now in effect. Businesses and individuals cannot charge 10% more than they did before. Bad actors will face criminal charges and a fine of up to $10,000 per item. Report price gouging to my office. At the Attorney General's office, we will do the fighting for you. Call us at 800-482-8982 or visit arkansasag.gov.
Say goodbye to excuses and open the door to a new you with your Total Fitness Shop. The healthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of is at your front door. Stop into one of our several locations. Our expert team will select a perfect combination of equipment and supplements that match your individual goals. And we will bring them to your doorstep. We will deliver, install, and service your home gym equipment. And we have the best warranty in the business. Get interest-free financing on orders of $500 or more. Your Total Fitness Shop, delivering a happy, healthy you.
When it comes to fighting germs and viruses, here are some key tips to remember. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often and for at least 20 seconds. And use disinfecting products registered to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses on objects and surfaces in your home. Let's help spread protection.
Nothing makes a burger better than bacon and barbecue on a new Hawaiian bun from Brahms. A quarter pound of 100% pure beef, 2 slices of pepper jack cheese, hickory smoked bacon, rings of onions and pickles. Then we pour on the rich, thick barbecue sauce. Oh man, a bigger, better built barbecue bacon cheeseburger on a new Hawaiian bun for a limited time at your neighborhood Brahms. Oh yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight for KNWA Northwest Arkansas News at 10 o'clock.
That's right. For more news, head over to our website, nwahomepage.com. See you tomorrow. Have a great night.